WIBTA if I broke up with my GF because she found God and won't stop trying to force her religion onto me. I have been dating my girlfriend Laura for about 2 years now. Laura had always told me she was an atheist. I am as well, so it was pretty easy to just not have any religious discussions at home. Well, a couple months ago, Laura started going to church services with her friend Sarah. Sarah is a friend of Laura's from childhood, and their difference in religious beliefs had always been a point of friction, but Laura had wanted to ease that friction by going to a few services with Sarah. Well, after a couple weeks, I noticed a pretty drastic change in Laura. She started to reference God more often and even had a Bible in her nightstand. She got a cross necklace and started to not only go to Sunday services, but to some events the church held during the week with Sarah. Again, all of this was fine with me. I basically had Sunday mornings to myself in the house so I could play games and do whatever. The issue came when Sarah made some comment one Sunday morning about how I need to come with them. I politely declined. I'd been turning down church invites from my super religious family for years, so it's a reflex at this point they left. But later that night, Laura and I were talking, and she started pressuring me to go to church with her and Sarah. I'd been through conversations like this before, again, my upbringing, and I made it clear to her that while I have no problem with her newfound faith, I would not be sharing in it. She gave up, but was very cold toward me for a few days before she apologized, and we made up. Well, a few weeks later, Sarah asks me again, and I give her a polite but firm no as this is starting to annoy me. Laura came back from church and seemed in a really good mood. She made me my favorite meal, and we talked about her day, and it was nice. Then abruptly, she started weeping and telling me how she was terrified of me spending an eternity in hell, and how I need to find God like she did, because she didn't want to lose me to Satan. At this point, I was fed up with it. I didn't escape my abusive religious family just to have it happen to me all over again. Laura has been cold with me ever since, and every time I try to talk to her, she says there is nothing to discuss until you are willing to go to church, so at this point, I think I might just need to break up with her. I feel bad because if we break up, I am moving out. I am not on the lease, so Laura will be stuck paying in full for her place without me, but I cannot stand the idea of living with her after we break up. I just want as clean a break as I can get here. WIBTA for just breaking up with her and leaving. Now for the update. I'd like to update everyone on the situation since my original post. I broke up with Laura a few days after the post. At first, she seemed to accept it. I moved out a couple days later. We agreed I'd pay for half of the month's expenses to help her out. Another friend of hers moved in a few weeks later, so she isn't in any financial hardship over this. The breakup didn't really hit me for a few days. Then it all came crashing down, and I took a few days off work to just play some video games and hang out with some friends I hadn't had time for recently. All in all, I'm doing okay. I've run into a few mutual friends of Laura and I, and they all seem to understand why I did what I did. I'll probably stop hanging out with most of our mutual social circle, though, as most of them were more her friends than mine. Though the initial breakup was relatively amicable, about a week ago, she started drunk texting me, begging me to find God so we could be together again. She'd also send me long paragraphs of good memories from when we were together. Sarah would also text on Laura's behalf, trying to encourage me to come to the church and make things right. I blocked them both for my own sanity. Laura is probably just now feeling the breakup and is acting irrationally. I don't blame her. I had serious urges to call her a lot too. You guys were right. I don't feel like I was the asshole after spending some serious time thinking it over. Thanks for the advice, everyone. Take care.